Yo, 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 what is happening? We are live on YouTube once again on this amazing episode of Cultur'd podcast. I'm joined by my co-host
Jade Barnes.
and our incredible, you know what, this guy, I think I've known this guy almost 10 years. Almost. I'm going to say almost 10 years. He's a New Yorker. He's out here in Los Angeles. He's Haitian, Jamaican, and everything in between. He's very, very funny. He's a great writer. He's a great friend. Please put your hands together for Nick Alexander.
Keenan Floyd, thank you for having me, man. You didn't even let people know who you are. But I appreciate the intro. Thank you, bro.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
When we bring you out, we got to bring you out.
Yeah,
I feel brought out.
It's weird when you're doing stuff like this because you're trying to not like be like narcissistic. Because don't you hate it when like, because I do this sometimes, and again, I'm doing it now. When people are like, something, I got ran over by a car the other day. I remember one time I was driving a car. Like, when you're talking to people, like, they always try to like insert themselves into the conversation.
Right? But, no. It's all love. It's all love, man.
What's good with you?
Man, listen, just fresh out the shower, getting clean for this culture talk that we about to have. So I wanted to, get my black, situation together, and just out in LA, just hustling, grinding, doing the shows, and trying to figure it out like we all are.
You may be like the second or third person I've heard say that they shower before Zoom or some type of video call. Is that a thing?
Yes. I definitely agree.
Yeah, I think it's like a getting ready, getting fresh. Yeah.
Well, when I was pitching a show, we would do Zooms in the afternoon all the time. And when I feel, I don't want to say dirty because that sounds weird, but when I like feel dirty, it makes me self-conscious. So usually when I'm like working on my computer or something every day for a long time, I get like sweaty and stuff, and things kind of, collect. You know what I'm saying? They collect at the bottom. You know what I mean? So I'm just kind of like, look, before I get on the Zoom, I need to put on a nice shirt. I need to make myself feel $1 million. So I jump in the shower, lather up. I get most of my ideas in the shower. I don't know what it is about water, but it really opens my brain up. So I get most of my good ideas in the shower. And then when I get out, I'm fresh. I stand in the air conditioner just a little bit, cool my body down just a little bit, and then I'm ready to go. I agree. Doing Zooms, you can't just go from filth into a Zoom meeting.
And here's the thing too, right? So like, I didn't want to put like nice clothes or just like an outfit on without showering. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to come to y'all in my t-shirt and shorts that I've been in all day. So I was like, I'm actually put real clothes on for this podcast. So a shower should go with that because I'm putting on clothes that I would wear to go out. You know what I'm saying? I owe the culture that.
Speaking of the culture, there's been a debate: wash rags, loofahs, or just a bar of soap.
I've never been a bar of soap guy. Like, I choose to buy liquid soap for a reason, and I use the loofah to scrub myself all over when I'm showering. I don't like bar soap. Is just nasty. I hate when I have to use bar soap.
So like, I'm kind of country. So like, we grew up. It wasn't no rags. We just had the bar of soap, and it was self-cleaning. Like, I felt fresh and clean, but like, my wife don't let me get into it. Say what?
How many people are touching that same bar and you don't know what they're doing with that bar? Like, if they don't know what to do with that bar, like that bar was used, man.
Today is the first time that I thought about it from that perspective, which is kind of gross now you think about it.
Right. But like, you got one cousin, you might have one cousin who take the bar and just go all over with it. Like, he don't know no better. You don't know you're supposed to just wet it, take the soap from the bar, apply. You got at least somebody in the household just doing this.
That was me.
Over.
That was me.
Oh,
like,
okay.
But like, I just thought it was self-cleaning. Like, you do as you rub it, it's taking off layers. You rinse it off when you're done.
Or whatever
set it up there, and like that was the thing.
Don't go to Jade's house to wash your face.
Say it again.
Don't go to Jade's house to wash your face.
I mean, I don't do that now. Like, marriage has taught me that, like, you need a washcloth, and we use liquid soap. I actually have different soap than she does, and she won't let me in the bed without showering. Like, I was normally like a morning shower guy, and then go about your day, but like now it's like you need to get in the bed, so you gotta do what it takes to get in the bed. That's the bottom line.
I don't even
in the summer.
Get in the bed without showering, and I don't sleep with nobody. I take a shower in the morning and I take a shower at night before bed.
So you're a multi-shower guy. 2 to 3.
Because even though I shower, then I go to bed, I slobber in my sleep. So that, like, any time that,
like, as an adult,
yeah, I don't know. I must sleep with my mouth open or something, or maybe I think I have sleep apnea or something.
Okay. I mean,
I don't always shower in the morning, but if I have some numbers happen, I have to shower because I can't leave the house with a dirty butt.
Yeah, I do feel that going outside does require a shower. But speaking of outside and shower, that is the perfect transition into the topic of the day, the Book of Clarence. Opening scene, you got this horse ride carriage like ripping through the city, and all they're talking about is how foul Clarence smells and that he needed to wash up. Did he have a bar soap or a rag when he did take a shower? Did we not see that?
I don't think there was ever a baptism scene. But there was no scene where he washed. I don't.
Yeah, they had no African soap. I don't remember that.
So Nick and I went to see the Book of Clarence together.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we said, well, we have to support Black cinema because, again, we want Black movies to make money.
Yes.
We want Black movies to make money. This whole conversation with Taraji P. Henson about, wow, I should be getting paid. And then people outside of her was like, well, she needs to get paid $10 million. Well, she has to be in movies that justify her being paid $10 million. That's just, no one went to see The Color Purple. I went to see The Color Purple, and you guys went to see The Color Purple, but it just didn't work out. So we said, let's go watch The Book of Clarence. Now, Book of Clarence was a movie that was in theaters for like a week. Like, literally. Like, nobody was in our theater.
I looked at the numbers today. It didn't do well. Like, $40 million budget. I think it only grossed like $6 million.
Yeah. It made $100,000. No, it made $6 million at the box office.
Did you like it? Y'all went together. Did you like it?
I did. I liked it. How about you, Nick?
I was gonna say, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I actually really enjoyed the film and the arc of the film. Like, I had no expectations. The poster looked really weird, so I was like, I don't know what the hell this is about. Like, what am I gonna? This is Black people dressing up like Roman time. I didn't know. But going into watching the film and then seeing what they tried to do and the arc of LaKeith's character, I actually really did enjoy the film. I thought it was a really funny, meaningful film, honestly.
No.
So the fact that we opened the movie, as Jade said, right away with an action sequence, I think it was a good moment to capture us, to hook us into the film. The book, if you're a fan of cinema, there's a lot of incredible things that the Book of Clarence reminds you of. It reminds you of Ben-Hur, which was also a biblical film with chariot racing in it. The Ten Commandments, another biblical film. Passion of the Christ, and The Life of Brian. And The Life of Brian, because it was kind of a similar story of someone that was trying to capitalize on the presence of Jesus while he was going around proselytizing to his followers. I think that's how you pronounce it. So it was a great. The fact, okay, so they were racing Mary Magdalene, played by Tiana Taylor, in the opening scene.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know about you. I mean, not enough people saw it to be able to talk about how great this opening scene was. chariot races are like the most exciting thing to me. Like, like I'm not even like the pod racing scene in Star Wars, the chariot scene in Ben-Hur. This scene, I love chariot scenes because there's so much at stake. Because you're out in the open, like you're on the thing, and your head is like up, right? You're standing on top. Of it.
Yeah.
So they're speeding through Jerusalem, and they're making their way around the corner and stuff. Now there's 3 people. There's like 2. How many people are in Clarence's chariot? Like 2 or 3 people. It was like 2 people in the chariot, right?
Yeah, it was like one his apostle homie, and then the other one, the protector, I think.
It was R.J. Seiler who played Elijah.
Yeah,
so Elijah was in the chariot,
Right.
and then
one more. I think there was another one.
That was it for the opening scene.
Yeah, it was Clarence and Elijah, and they're racing Mary Magdalene, and this already sets up the characters that they're hustlers. That's what it sets up. They're hustlers. They're trying to get money. There's money on this race, and they're like, yo. And Mary Magdalene's a hustler too. I mean, in the Bible, in the Christian Greek scriptures, she was a what's the New Testament called? It's not Christian Greek, is it? The Christian Greek scriptures. She was a prostitute, right?
Right.
But
sex worker.
Yeah. In the Bible, she was a prostitute. But it was cool how they never said that. And they never portrayed her that way in the movie. She was a woman about her money. That's it. That's it. That's all she was. Like no one was specific or whatever. What are you gonna say, Nick?
No, I just was agreeing, like nodding. Yes.
Yeah, she was a woman about her money. So the first scene that we see there, she's in this. She's in this chair hustling these guys, right? And I mean, she kind of cheated a little bit too because she
had to do what she had to do.
She had to do what she had. She had her homies jump them in the middle of the race.
Yeah.
And then this is the first time that we're introduced to Benjamin, the dirty beggar.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Because he gets thrown out. He gets thrown out of the chariot, and then Benjamin's like, "Oh, hey," he's like sitting on the wall, and he's like, "Oh, hey, can you like spare some shillings?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's like, "Get the fuck out of here," right? And then we find out the reason why he owes money, why he needs the money, is because he owes it to Jedediah.
Jedediah the Terrible. I mean, like the opening scene for me, like, so like one, I too came into it without like any real expectations, but like the music, I was like, okay, we're grooving, you know, action scene, we got the music rocking. I'm like, all right, this is about to be real good. And I didn't think it was bad at all. It was just one of those movies that, like, for me, it was just a movie that as you watch, like, nothing award winning, but nothing to like really like talk a whole lot of shit about. Like, this is terrible. I wish I never saw it type thing. And I found it a little like you could still watch it if you didn't know the Bible. And I thought that part of it was confusing and part of it was like intriguing how those characters were represented based on my limited understanding of the Bible or whatever. But like you got to hear a story around this time and kind of piece it together, even if you didn't know a whole lot of backstory about like religion and the Bible. Like I think you've definitely got a much broader understanding or more thorough understanding of the Bible. How did it play out for you, Keenan? Like looking at the Bible compared to its representation in this story.
So how I felt they pitched the movie was they're saying they probably went into the room and said, we're making a movie about Black Jesus. But also about a nigga that's trying to capitalize on his fame.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know, growing up reading the Bible, there were Easter eggs, if you will. It's one of those things where it's like if it was your favorite novel and you're watching a movie and you're kind of like, oh, that's this or whatever, right? Like the fact that they, you know, I mean, obviously Clarence was not in the Bible. There's no Clarence in the
Right.
Bible that I know of, and the fact of that he was related to one of the 12 apostles,
The twin.
Yeah.
twin, yeah, the twin, because I do believe that there was an apostle with a twin. I believe. Um, don't quote me on that though. But the fact that that's what his connection was to the Messiah was funny. And it's interesting because a lot of people were trying to boycott the movie because they were saying that was blasphemous in the sense that, well, it's, people that didn't really know what it was about, well, they're making fun of Jesus and all that stuff. But if you really read the Bible, I mean, I'm not saying these people didn't read the Bible, but if you know anything about Jesus' story, most people didn't believe Jesus was the Messiah.
Right.
No.
I mean, till today.
Yeah, until today. And if you believe the story, that's why Jesus was killed, because they thought he was a false prophet. So the movie is basically about one of these people that doesn't believe in Jesus, because that's what was about. But at the same time, too, he was also like, but this nigga get money.
Yeah.
So if he can go,
attention.
huh?
And attention.
Yeah. So basically his viewpoint is like, man, if he's making money by saying this stuff, I can just tell people that I'm such and such. And
they're gonna throw this coin. He was the thing that cracked me up. It was just like Clarence out here hustling weed, slinging weed, smoked up. Thomas is kind of like the goody two shoes, the disciple, and he's like, yo, I'm out here in these streets. We about to get this money. We about to have fun, and whatever hustle we got to do, that's what's going on. And like, I thought that was fun and like gangstered it up a little bit.
And it ended up getting him caught up too. It's like, because no one knew what Jesus looked like, really. Like no one really knew except his apostles, but no one really knew who he looked like. So Clarence was just like, look, I'm the guy. I'm the guy. You're
no point of reference.
What do you say, Nick? Say again.
Like, no point of reference. Like he just you can make yourself the persona like almost like a wrestler, kind of.
Yeah. So I thought from a biblical and again, I don't. It doesn't bother me either way. I just think, a good movie is a good movie. You know what I'm saying? What's the difference between Life of Brian and The Greatest Story Ever Told and the 10 Commandments? You know what I'm saying? And the Last Temptation of Christ and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I thought it was fun. I like the portrayal of. I like the fact that they made Jesus and everyone around them black. Because that's always been an argument whether these people, because where did it take place? It took place in Jerusalem, right? But if you look, the only thing that's separating the Middle East / Asia and Africa is the Suez Canal, right? So it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, well, they're in that region, right? Mm-hmm. So like, how close back then, we don't know. Do we know how close the continents were? You know what I mean? Where it's like,
yeah.
Because if you read the Bible, there was a lot going back and forth to Egypt. They didn't say anything else about any other continents, but there was a lot of going back and forth to Egypt, right? And then where did they get the slaves to build the pyramids? Like, where did they? Because the slaves, they were Jewish, but it's like, did they go? You know what I'm saying? And then you have the Roman Empire and all that stuff. So it was interesting to actually see that all of our Bible heroes were black. And then the Roman Empire with this new power that was coming in, trying to like change everything, trying to change everybody culturally.
So were they the original white folks that started racial profiling?
I
Like,
don't think so.
like that's what like when I saw it, I was like, man, we still got white men profiling black men, and they were like, oh, you fit the description, and then shows the picture of the like pharaoh, and I was just like, oh, really? He was like, so everybody looks like the Egyptian god or whatever, and it could be anybody.
Well,
Right.
what's interesting about that is that you do know that like as a country we're descendants of the Roman Empire, which is kind of interesting how the Roman soldiers are basically the cops
Yes.
in this
Yeah.
movie, and they're basically like, oh, all you guys have to go home or we're gonna like kill you or whatever, right?
Show me
And
your papers.
yeah,
Show
yeah,
me your
they're like,
papers.
show me your papers or whatever, right? So
Instead of shut up and dribble, is shut up in scripture.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like it's like we're looking for a powerful Negro. We're looking for this Jesus of Nazareth, you know. So it's like from the Roman Empire came the British Empire. You know, when the Roman Empire fell, out of that came the British
Right.
Empire, and now the British Empire came the United States, right? So it's like that level of authority. To answer your question, yes, I think so. I think so, Jade. That level of authority has been passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah. What the one thing that caught me for some reason, and I don't know why, like I've been baptized, been to church, but I never put two and two with John the Baptist and baptism. Why? I don't know, but like that whole scene was hilarious. One, they were slapping the hell out of Clarence in that water. But like that whole baptism scene and what's his name? Smoking weed on the sideline. Like, yo, you should probably let him out. I don't know if that's probably too long, bro. That's probably too long.
What's funny is it's because Clarence was a hustler. He was like, yo, I want to get baptized. Well, why do you want to get baptized? I don't know. For the bitches. I don't know. That's like basically what he was. He's like, look, man, this is what everyone's doing. Like, I want to get baptized.
I heard them baptized. Got money and babes.
Man. Yeah.
What'd you say, Nick?
Oh, I said he just like wanted to, his life was simple. He just let me baptize so I can get on these girls. Like he had very like low goals at first.
What about the representation that they showed of people getting high?
I like that. Actually, I did too. Like the whole floating, and it was like almost like a hookah / psychedelic / weed type of experience. And like again, I always relate it back to the culture. I mean, that's why we do the culture podcast. But like all of that's still very trending and like therapeutic and medicinal now. Like there's been data and studies that are pushing like a lot of psychedelics as healing. They use it, post-war for recovery and dealing with PTSD. So much data and research. Same thing with weed too. So to see it in that setting, I thought was appropriate and fun and funny at the same time.
Well, and also
it was a lot of emotions, man. It was an emotional roller coaster of a film, and I thought like LaKeith as a lead really elevated that because you see him in like the first 15-20 minutes. It's all about being a hustler, got to get this money, got to get these things. Then it's like I'm gonna try to run this con. Then he gets caught up in the con and the emotions of what the weight is of to be Jesus. And then like by the end of the film, I don't want to sorry to go further than that. Like you actually see him like having a conscience, thinking about his fellow man and becoming a selfless person. And I thought he executed that in the different acts of the film. I thought it was very, very, very good.
Yeah. And he was a fighter too. The whole scene where he was fighting for the freeing of all the soldiers. His like first miracle was to like gain credibility or approval from the 12 apostles to join them. Like that whole scene, like he had hands. Like that was a good fight scene.
Well, it's nice to see him go from selfish to selfless because like again, even the first time that he smoked, and was floating through the air. That's what the first time we saw his idea halo come above his head.
Mhm.
And then that's when he got
Right.
the idea to capitalize on being the Messiah. He's like, oh, I got an idea. I know how we can pay back Jedediah, right? Then he goes down to get baptized. And then Jonah could sniff on him that he was like full of shit, right? So then that's why he slapped him, right? But then still, he was still on that hustle. And that was really it was hard. It was kind of hard to be on his brother's side, even though we knew his brother Thomas was right. Because he goes to see the 12 apostles and he says, hey guys, I think I want to be the 13th apostle.
And
Right.
they bust out laughing.
And they're all like, well, why? And basically it's like, because y'all getting money. Like he never he never like really
Y'all living good, bruh.
He had no plan.
he was like, y'all getting money, y'all living good, y'all live in this house, y'all have food, y'all hang out with this nigga, like, and walk around and stuff. And you know, have you guys ever had?
Can we curse?
Huh?
Yeah.
Can we curse on this?
What'd you say?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think we can curse. He was essentially a bum ass nigga. Like, and then he
Living
became a
with his
high
mom.
value man by the end of the film. Right. And then he became a high value man. So
yeah. Don't you hate it? Don't you hate it when you work hard and then someone comes in and it's like, I could do that, and and they try to, and the first thing you do, you're like, I don't hate you, but you don't belong here. You know what I mean? Like that's like really what his brother.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
like I can relate to that because it's like, look, man, I've sacrificed so much to be an apostle. You sell weed.
We're
Yeah.
not the same.
We're not the
And
same.
that's the same. There's levels to this.
And then I think he gets slapped. I think he gets slapped by the apostles too.
Yeah, this is like blasphemy. Yeah. What's wrong with you? So help me out with the timeline, because like I try to make it all make sense and fit together. So I feel like the opening scene was like 33 AD. So like, shouldn't Jesus have been dead at that time? Or like, I'm trying to figure out like how that whole timeline from this story compared. Did they do flashbacks? And
so what I think is, I think this movie takes place before Jesus is executed, but I think it's close.
Okay. So I did see, if we fast forward to the end, well, I'll say it though, because like the whole like bummy looking, let's just go into it. We had the whole bummy looking dirty dudes that all of a sudden gets a bath, then all of a sudden he comes out looking like a white man in blackface. It on the screen is what it looked like. Mm-hmm. Then the coins pop out or whatever. He gets cleaned up, and then boom, we got white Jesus cleaned up. And it was just like, yo.
Then we find out it's Benedict Cumberbatch. we're like, what?
I mean, it was either him or
all of them were on the cross.
Huh? And then as soon as they see him, as soon as the Romans see him, they're like, that's the guy we've been looking for, because he's dressed exactly like how the Catholics portray Jesus. He's in the long silky robe. He has what's that thing that goes over his shoulder? That red
shawl sash type thing.
That sash. He has the long hair. He has the beard.
Good point.
He has some coins. He has the coins, and people are like, "Oh, that's the guy." Well, I mean, the reason I say it takes place because the way hanging people on the cross is the way they killed niggas back then. Like that's like
that was for everybody. That wasn't special.
Yeah, it wasn't special. It's just one of their victims happened to have been the Messiah. Like that's like that's the difference. So I mean,
total happenstance.
Yeah, it was just a coincidence. I mean, if they would have shot Jesus with a bazooka, it would be like a bazooka. You know, like it would be bazookas hanging around people's necks. You know what I mean? So it's coincidentally they hung him in the worst way ever.
Painful.
So let's see here. So Mary Magdalene. So basically, oh, what I also like. So this is what I also liked. I also liked how Clarence was specifically an atheist. Now, I don't know how that worked.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
I don't know how that necessarily worked back then, because what did they? Because you have the Roman gods and the Greek gods, and then you had the Jewish way of religion,
Yeah.
which was in that region was more influential.
Right.
Pharisees and most of the people that were in that region were Jewish at the time. So what?
See, I don't think atheism was a club yet. I don't think it was established. He was just a skeptic to the 10th power, non-believer. Like he was like considered like just a lost soul. But they didn't have a group of people who were like, no, we don't believe in Jesus. We believe in the devil. So he was like an amateur atheist. You know.
Well, even if you're an atheist, you don't believe in the devil either. You believe in like science or whatever, right?
Oh, okay.
So you're kind of like
opposed to organized religion.
Yeah, opposed to organized religion. You're more or less like scientifically, this is how the universe was. I don't think
he wasn't getting in science class. He just didn't believe in shit.
Well, remember what was Clarence's whole ministry?
This doing the magic.
Yeah, but he said I'm teaching you knowledge over belief, because y'all are believing in belief. You're not believing in knowledge. Like, I'm giving you proof.
That's more like a hustler's philosophy, though.
Huh?
That's more like a hustler philosophy. He's not really like providing them with like legit information. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was more so like, this is how y'all need to do.
Yeah. So at first he's like, look, guys, you guys are trying to believe in the savior, but I'm giving you something you can use for the rest of your life. Knowledge. And it's him. But then he's like, but there's no money in teaching knowledge, so I might as well get in on these miracles. So he made his friends like play dead and stuff, and he said, I'm going to resurrect this guy.
Let's go practice this.
Let's practice this. Which is, I don't know. I don't know. It's whatever. It's whatever, I guess. I mean, I get it. Life is expensive.
Help me understand why having like LaKeith, we had Lupin, we had a lot of was Tiana. We had a lot of actors. These are ensemble casts again. Does this? I mean, like, I don't understand how this works sometimes and it doesn't work other times. You look at like Ocean's 11, it works. You look at
way different.
I mean, but now we got this. We looked at The Color Purple a few episodes ago. Ensemble cast didn't really work. We looked at what we just talked about. American Fiction worked well with an ensemble cast. So, like, why are these different films not landing well? Is it just the scripts? I don't think the acting was terrible. Is it the marketing? Is it the audience?
Marketing.
Who's to blame?
I think it's a tough sell marketing wise, because it's like we already have the notion like the majority of the world not believing that black people were the original man, Jesus, all that other stuff like that. So that's already the hard fight. So on a conceptual level, it's hard for the studio or whatever to embrace this kind of film, because you normally in black cinema, if you want to call it black cinema, it's a movie with a black-led cast, but normally we don't do films about that topic. It's like rom-com, buddy stuff, hood shit, inner city turmoil. We don't ever go biblical and religious. You know, like with church, there's church stuff, but never like in a time period piece this far back. We don't do that, so that's a hard sell.
Are now, Jade, are you talking about the film itself working or it not hitting with the audience?
I think both in general, but I wanted to do numbers, millions of dollars in revenue in box offices, getting awards when these type of things happen. When you have that much talent on the screen, they brought an old buddy from what's his name off of You Can't Stand the Rain. Why can't I think of his name?
Timberland.
What's the name?
Timberland, who produced it, like the soundtrack.
No, not that. Eric Kofi Abrifa, that played Jedediah the Terrible.
Yeah. Kofi, yeah.
Yeah. Marianne John Baptiste was in there. Like,
so they had a solid budget. Like $40 million is a decent film for a movie like this, right? But marketing wise, did not get no real push. Like we did not see it all over town and posters. None of the actors in it did a huge press run. Like, so that word of mouth did not travel, nor did we see it being advertised like that in a lot of places. Like, I really only ever saw Book of Clarence promoted when I was at the theater. I just saw that poster. I didn't see it anywhere else. Like, you know, they didn't do a big breakfast. I think the director maybe did a Breakfast Club, but most of the actors and cast didn't do like the big circuit. So
normal circuit. That's got to be.
When did the strike end?
Oh yeah, strike might have affected that too. Strike ended like November.
The strike ended in November.
Because y'all saw it in December, right?
Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah, December.
Like December or January. Like we saw it at the beginning, end of the beginning of the year.
So they're still coming out of that, but still, like, not a lot of marketing dollars and big press that I can think for the cast, and just the trailer didn't take off like that. You know, like, remember we've seen big successes take off because of a great trailer, like Get Out, phenomenal trailer. Think Like a Man. We're talking about movies in our culture that have really big, powerful trailers. The trailer didn't really captivate anybody. I don't think so.
Well, I agree with that. I also think that I never saw the trailer for the Book of Clarence. Like, I had heard, because they announced the Book of Clarence after Jaymes did what's the movie he did? Jaymes, what's the movie he did? The Harder They Fall. So when The Harder They Fall came out, the first movie that Jaymes Samuel did, which was the cowboy movie, the Western.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they announced like a month after that movie came out that he was doing the Book of Clarence. So I had known that he was coming out with another movie, and it was kind of going to be like a biblical epic or whatever. So and I'm a cinema head, so I was going to go see it anyway. I do think that I really didn't see a lot of advertisements for it. I saw the poster. But I think that with people not knowing enough about it, I think they just didn't want to risk wasting money. Because like a lot, it's expensive to go to the movies. A lot of people that don't normally go to the movies, who aren't just going to go see every movie, they'll be like, I'll wait for it to be on digital or whatever. And on top of that, too, people are very sensitive when it comes to a liberal view of religion. Huh?
Sweet baby Jesus, people get emotional.
Like, you can literally have a movie where people get shot in the face. They have lots of
rape, incest, abuse, blowing up.
And we're not talking about
trafficking. Any of that stuff is perfectly okay. But once you bring Sweet Baby Jesus in the picture, it's blasphemy. I don't want no part.
And in the same movie, they can go to church at the end. Praise Jesus in the same movie, and that's perfectly okay because that's real life. But when you start going after the fundamentals of belief, then that's
you gotta draw the line somewhere.
So people didn't know. Didn't really know what the movie was about.
Nope.
They didn't want to risk going to the movies and either being offended, having their faith attacked, or whatever, and they didn't want to waste money. At least when you go to a neutral film like Captain America or whatever, you at least know, okay, I'm getting Captain America and he's going to punch some people in the face. Black Panther, like I know that's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, when we're talking about crossover appeal, the movie was just too black. It was making Jesus and too many black people in it.
You think so? You really agree with that? Because I mean, it's not like white people don't like stoner movies, right? Because this was a little bit of a stoner movie. It has stoner elements, like shout out to Half Baked when they're like exploding and shit.
But it was not enough for them to trust. Like if Jack Black, because I think Jack Black has done like a Bible movie too or whatever, right? If it's like Jack Black and Seth Rogen, and like if it was the Book of Clarence starring Jack Black and Seth Rogen, I don't know how much money it would have made, but at least people would have saw it and be like, oh, this is hilarious. This is going to be a comedy. This is going to be a joke. We just don't know. People just don't know LaKeith like that yet.
He's not a bankable star.
Yeah, they don't know LaKeith. They don't know RJ Sealer yet. You know, he was in the last thing that RJ was
rap shit on HBO.
You know what I mean? They know David.
Like, okay, like if Michael B. Jordan does this film, do you think he can pull off LaKeith's role? And you think the movie does better if Michael B. Jordan is in the star role?
Possibly. But see, and this is an interesting conversation because I don't really feel that the machine is behind black actors anymore.
Not really.
In the sense
because it would have more. I mean, I can understand where you're coming from, but to answer your question, I do think if you put Michael B. Jordan in there, you're gonna get more crowd appeal in general. I mean, he's got all the creeds, he's got movies that like you're gonna get an audience that's just gonna go just to see him in general. I don't think LaKeith has that yet.
Now, I will say, if you put in like if you aged it up and it was like a Will Smith or a Denzel Washington or like an Idris Elba and like an Angela Bassett or like a Viola Davis, I don't know if it would have made more money, but it would have gotten more attention. You understand what I'm saying?
They would also probably market it a little bit.
And they were actually marketed the film.
Right.
Yeah, you feel me? Because LaKeith was also coming off of Haunted Mansion.
Which can do well, right?
Yeah, and to be fair, the Haunted Mansion came out during, which we should also do on the podcast too, because it's black movie. It came out during the strikes. LaKeith was the star of the movie, like he was the star of the movie.
Yeah.
And the movie flopped. So sometimes what happens, like, because all of these studios, they all know each other. All the executives and all that stuff know each other. So they're watching. So if you have a LaKeith Stanfield movie, you're watching.
2 hours in a row.
They're like, okay, so
that burn.
Yeah, they're like, this Haunted Mansion movie came out. It did no numbers. So I don't know how many millions of dollars we should put in pushing this movie because we've never known LaKeith to be like a lead. You know what I mean? Like a lead. So they could have pulled the dollars because of Haunted Mansion. And we're just like, we don't know if we can even sell LaKeith.
Right.
Right? So I do think that I agree. So I think if it is like a Michael B. Jordan or even like a John Boyega, if it's like a Beyonce, even though she's not that good of an actress, but if it's like a Beyonce,
you would have had Beyonce as Mary Magdalene instead of Tiana. I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, or like a Will Smith or a Denzel, not even like lead characters, but if they're like supporting characters or whatever, it would have got a bigger push because there's but you can kind of
add credibility.
Yeah. Then if it doesn't make money at the box office, then you're just like, okay, well, no one went to see the movie. Versus,
let me ask you this. Good.
No, I said versus people not even knowing that the movie existed.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't make money, and you're like, look, they don't make money, you know.
You think it's a different movie if you drop it, if you released on Netflix?
I think.
Also, the timing of the film, like holidays, it was tough. Sorry.
No. Go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
Oh, I think also what did it maybe a disservice was there was a lot of competition around the holidays, so it got lost in the shuffle. You gotta remember that too. There was December. It came out late December, January, but it was up against a lot of different films.
It's a terrible time to release something that doesn't have a major budget behind it and major marketing.
Yeah, exactly.
It was released next to Wonka. Timothy Chalamet is like killing. He's killing right now. So,
right.
I think it's on streaming right now, or is it not available yet?
No, not yet.
I think there are certain movies where you have to go, this is a Netflix movie. Now, I'm not saying Tubi, because there's a difference between a Tubi movie and a Netflix and Amazon Prime movie. Like, I'm not saying put it on Tubi. But you could still have a good budget, a $40 million, $60 million, $100 million budget, and make a good Netflix film. And there's certain movies, even ideas that like I have, where I'm like, I don't know if anyone will go to the theater to see this. But if it's on Netflix, they'll watch it because it's very much like I'm curious. Because it's a type of movie where people don't necessarily want to put like commitment into it. Like the Book of Clarence, those films where it's like, I don't know if I want to commit since I don't know so much about it and I'm iffy on it. But I bet you, like, when it goes up on Amazon Prime or on Netflix or wherever it lands, people are gonna watch it.
Fare better.
Huh?
Yeah.
They're gonna go,
So like there's always that decision. If I'm going to get up out of my house and go to see a film, I'm usually not going alone. So that's 2 tickets I need to buy or more. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have to get snacks. Right. So like, am I willing to commit $75 to $100 to go to the film to see this? Or go to the theaters to see this? And like, there's a lot. I watched tons of stuff that I would never go to the movies to see because I wouldn't. I'm with you. I wouldn't risk it. But me sitting on the couch, shit, we can watch the first 20, 30 minutes to see whether it works or not. And I watched whole movies that was garbage, but I didn't have to move. It didn't cost me anything. So like, it was okay. Like, I'm gonna finish it out. I didn't hit like or love on Netflix, but Netflix should plug us because I love Netflix and watch it quite a bit. So at some point, if y'all want to sponsor the podcast, that'd be great. Yeah, but nonetheless, like, I watch a lot of stuff just because they suggest it. We think you may like it, or because you watch this, that's why I would watch it. But if you don't have that to actually get up and go to the theaters, it's a tough push without solid marketing.
And to be honest with you, the only reason that I see these movies is because we're doing a podcast about Black cinema. So
yeah,
it's kind of like our job at this point. But also, I also have AMC A-List.
Yep.
Like, could you imagine? Huh?
How's that work? Tell the people of the world what AMC A-List.
AMC A-List is it's a subscription-based app that you can get where you pay $25 a month, I believe, $22 or $25 a month, and you can see up to 3 movies a week, right? Oh. So each movie you see, it accumulates points so that you can put those points towards maybe another movie ticket or some snacks or whatever. So if you go to a bunch of movies that you're only paying $22, $25 a month to see,
that's it.
20, what was it, 3 movies a week? You're seeing 12 movies a month. You're seeing 12 movies a month. You can accumulate enough points that the next time you go see a movie, you can get a ticket with your points and some snacks. With your points. So it's worth the investment. But if I didn't have AMC A-list, I would not be seeing all these movies because I don't feel like if the movie's bad, which I've only really seen one bad movie recently. If a movie's bad, I don't feel like I wasted money. I just wasted some time.
What was the bad movie?
The bad movie I saw was The Boys in the Boat.
I don't think I seen that yet.
I thought you were gonna say Madam Web.
No, I know not to go see Madam Web. The Boys in the Boat was trash. Boys in the Boat was trash. It's boring. It was boring as fuck. But it's not a black movie; it's a white movie. So I ain't disparaging no fellow.
Yeah, we got hate within our community. Are we gonna go see? Can I ask the question?
Yeah, go for it.
Are you going to see Society of Magical Negroes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. That's what I
I
wanted to
didn't
know.
even know it was coming out. Now I gotta Google it.
It's out already. It made no money.
Which can't have predicted.
The American Society of Magical Negroes. No one really wants to see that shit.
David Allen Greer, Justice Smith.
Solid talent.
It has an amazing cast, a lot of talents behind it.
It got a 2.6 out of 10 with IMDb and 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yikes.
Ooh.
I haven't seen anything have numbers that low. Goodness gracious.
I might have to go see it so that you don't have to. And then I'll just have to be like, hey guys, I saw this movie so that you guys don't have to go see.
I may have to stream that.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
It's gonna be on streaming soon. So
I'm gonna go see the support so it gets its numbers, but yeah.
So back to the Book of Clarence. We were just talking about the cast. The cast is amazing. So LaKeith Stanfield, I like LaKeith Stanfield. I mean, to me, LaKeith Stanfield really plays like one type of character, to be honest with you. And it's not bad. Like, it's not bad, but he's not really versatile in his acting skills. But we got LaKeith Stanfield, we got Omar Sy, who plays Barabas. We got
Omar is good.
Diop, who plays Clarence's love interest. Now, Anna Diop, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right, but she was in this horror movie called Nanny. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's on Amazon Prime, but it's a pretty good horror movie. That's where I know her from.
Yeah.
I know her from Titans as Starfire. I know her from the Titans show as Starfire.
Who? What show?
She played Starfire on the Titans show, like Teen Titans, the live action.
Oh, Teen Titans. Oh, yeah. Starfire. RJ Seiler, I guess. We know
and Diop was in Us.
Diop was in Us, wasn't she? Yeah, she played.
Yeah, she was the main character with Eartha.
Yeah,
who was the dude that played Thor? He was the Achilles guy.
Who?
Oh, he's that's Lupin.
Yeah,
he did
Omar
Lupin
Sy.
on Netflix.
Omar Sy, yeah, he's the guy, with the Achilles heel. David, I can never pronounce the name. Oyelowo played John the Baptist. Yeah. Michael Ward was Judas. Alfre Woodard was Virgin Mary. Her name was
Benedict Cumberbatch, White Jesus.
Benedict Cumberbatch was Benjamin, aka White Jesus. I was gonna say Tiana Taylor was Mary Magdalene. Caleb McLaughlin, the black kid from Stranger Things.
Yeah, McLaughlin.
Caleb McLaughlin,
who played Zeke. Marianne Baptiste, who you mentioned before, Clarence's mother. Eric Kofi Abrefa. James McAvoy was Pontius Pilate.
All right, James McAvoy. Yeah, they had a good cast.
They had some actors. And Nicholas Pickett, who actually played Jesus on here. Like there was a lot of talent on the screen. I just get disappointed when these numbers like come out when you have that much talent.
And the thing about it is, it's not that these aren't great actors. It's that we need to make these guys in this business. We need to make these guys stars. That's what I mean. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying it from our point of view. I'm saying the studios have to be like, we're going to put the marketing dollars behind this because of who's involved. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, what killed the Book of Clarence was Haunted Mansion. Because I think the budget for Haunted Mansion was like $200 million or something like that. That's how much Disney spends on everything. And Sony was probably looking at the numbers and they said, we need to see what Haunted Mansion does, even though it's not a fair assessment because we were all in the middle of a strike.
Right.
It was $150 million. And Haunted Mansion made $117 million back.
And it's Christmas time. Like holiday times, like these are like people are gonna go see a film during the holiday. Maybe two.
What they should have did is maybe they should have released Book of Clarence this month.
February would have been perfect.
February
Black History Month dropped it.
2 reasons: Black History Month in February and also Easter in March. So so I'm thinking maybe like a February 28th release, like a like a last day of February. Like we go out with a bang, but then we're also like in the middle. We're also heading into Easter. So we're like, okay, now we're going to go see this movie about Jesus' resurrection.
Because they totally dropped the ball with the release date. I agree. Thinking about that, all those factors, and they didn't think about the black part of February, the Jesus biblical aspect in the March, April time, Easter. Like, why not? Why would you not release it around then? There's not. Especially because they knew in advance that this year we consider it's almost like a leap year because the Marvel DC is not putting out that many films. There's going to be like probably 1 or 2 each from each division. So there was a lot of room for these other films to succeed because there's not that much superhero competition this year. So like I don't think they thought about that either.
And check this: The Passion of the Christ came out February 25th, 2004.
Look at that. Imagine that there was a roadmap already created.
And that budget was $30 million. And can you guys guess how much money it made at the box office?
Wow.
400.
$612 million.
Wow.
And that shit was in Hebrew and Arabic.
Yeah. She also had Mel Gibson, right?
Yeah, not one black person
directed it. Yeah.
Mel Gibson, no.
Because the guy that played Jesus, no one knew who the guy that played Jesus was. Like he was a nobody when he played Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Jay.
They deserve better.
It seems like we should be in charge of a studio.
I mean, at least at the table to have a conversation about when to drop it in front of black people when you're talking about Black Jesus. That's a help.
Yeah, it should,
or at least a meeting with the marketing department. Marketing definitely have a good conversation. I wasn't part of the combos.
Yeah, you should have dropped it February 23rd, the last Friday of February. And then we can watch it over Easter. Let it be in theaters for like a month and a half, going into Easter.
Been good to go.
Yeah.
We would have been good to go. How you gonna release it on Christmas Day? Get the fuck out of here.
Give me this. What was your favorite scene? I'll start with you, Nick. What was your favorite scene of the movie?
Shit, I think it's like near the end when he realizes the path of Jesus and he becomes so selfless and is one with the mission. You know what I'm saying? So he's starting to like everything hits and crystallizes for him right before he passes away. I think that's the best part of the film because at that moment he's like, this is what this was about. This is why God sent his son to do this. He literally, his life became a parallel of that. And I just kind of like him going through that existential crisis. I really dug that analogous thing that they set up throughout the film to show his arc from a selfish man to a selfless man.
Kenny, what did you have? What was your favorite scene?
I like the transformation of Benjamin into the traditional looking white Jesus,
Mm.
and and that whole sequence of events of him getting hemmed up by the Romans and him carrying his cross next to Jesus. And then they have that scene where the guy's like painting the picture of them, but he's only painting Benjamin.
Yeah.
so, so he's painting Benjamin, who's the only white guy in this whole line of people
Yeah.
carrying. I think it was might have been only two of them. I think it only might have been Clarence and Benjamin, but all of these people carrying their crosses up, and he's only painting Benjamin. And then it's kind of like, you know, when you see those memes on Facebook where they have pictures of people and they're going to say, I'm going to say this is Will Smith and Jada. That's what it's like he's painting pictures, says, I'm going to tell my kids this was Jesus.
No, that's good. That's good. That's real good. I did get hype on the walking on water scene. Like that was real fun for me because he was like, "Yo, you know I can't swim, bro. What's gonna happen? Like this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work." And he comes out there and just like, "Oh, we grooving. Wait a minute, okay." And then it was just like, old buddy, the Roman dude was just like, "All right, now we got to kill this nigga, get him."
Yeah, and it was one of those scenes where Pontius Pilate was like, "Look, man, I'm just going by what the people are saying. If you fall into the water and drown, then we won't kill you. But if you walk in water, unfortunately, we're gonna have to kill you. So, I mean, help me out here."
Here we are, double-edged sword. There was another situation where it had like that. What did they say? A funny line. It was like, what did he say? If you die, don't ever ask me for another ride. I like stuff like that.
The script for the movie was smart. It was a lot of funny elements.
Wasn't preachy at all.
Yeah, I mean the thing about it is I don't think there was really anything more that I was asking for in the sense of the execution. Does that make sense? Because like I said, like let's talk about like the music, for example. I've been listening to the soundtrack of the Book of Clarence since I saw the movie.
Banging. That was the first thing I said. Like it just opened up. The music was rocking.
Yeah, it's literally because it's soul, it's neo soul. That's the style of the soundtrack. So it's a type of song, it's a type of soundtrack that you light candles to. and you play
the incense burn saves the room.
Incense, like when you open your door, steam comes out. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think the best element for me was the music. The Harder They Fall also had an amazing soundtrack as well, and that's because Jaymes Samuel is a musician as well. So he also curates and produces his own soundtracks. I don't know what his relationship is to music. I don't know if he was a producer or just a musician. This movie and The Harder They Fall was also produced by Jay-Z.
Right.
It's one of those things where I'm not sure whether. Oh, it was also produced by Will Smith's producing partner. There's a couple things for this. I don't know if it losing money is that big of a deal because I'm also thinking of bigger picture as well. Is this a way for Jay-Z and them to kind of get rid of some money, for tax purposes?
Let's just make a movie so I can write this shit off.
Yeah, so I can write this shit off. Or are they selling CDs? Are they selling albums? So you know what I mean?
Hopefully at least selling the albums.
Yeah, I mean, it might have not done well at the box office, but maybe it made money for them in other ways.
Right.
What I will say about this is I'm looking forward to seeing James's third film because I feel like he's potentially a very versatile filmmaker like Steven Spielberg. Like if you go back and you look at Steven Spielberg's filmography, he made a bunch of different movies. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I was just co-signing that. Like, I was curious. Do you think he gets like the same kind of budget film? Will he get like a big like blockbuster? Will he go like smaller indie again or Netflix? Like, what do you like? What do you think? What kind of movie do you think he'll do next?
Well, let me look on his IMDb to see what he has in development. Because it's like because he did a Western, he did a biblical epic. He is working on, let's see here. He had a movie in development, but I don't see it. So this is the relationship of Jaymes to Jay-Z. He directed a couple of Jay-Z's music videos. He did a short film which was the basis of The Harder They Fall. He was a music consultant on The Great Gatsby, which I believe Jay-Z was also worked on that as well. He had another Western in development, but it says development unknown. And he's producing a Kid Cudi film called Teddy, which is... Hold on. Teddy is a comedy written and directed by Kid Cudi. Also with Jay-Z. Now that's being produced by Bronze Studios. The Bronze Studios actually went bankrupt, so I don't know if that's actually still a thing. The next movie that he has that's been optioned is called Irredeemable, which was written by Kip Powers, which is also a guy behind Soul and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And Irredeemable is a beloved superhero turns on the world he formerly protected. He must be stopped somehow. So it's based on a comic book from Boom Studios, which is a comic book company, and it will be distributed on Netflix.
Gotcha.
So
get a quick clarity. Get some quick clarity. January 12th was the release date. So post Christmas, pre Black History Month, and Easter-ish time. Gross $6 million, but it did drop on the London Film Fest October 11th of last year.
I wonder what those reviews were like. So it was originally set to be released on September 22nd, which, in my opinion, is still a bad date.
Still.
So then they delayed. I'm telling you, it's Haunted Mansion. I'm telling you. As soon as we saw Haunted Mansion, they were like, "We got to figure out what to do with this movie." I'm telling you, they saw it, they pulled it, and then they dumped it in January. Because remember, now big movies come out in January. But back in the day, if you remember, they used to put shitty movies. They used to release shitty movies in January.
Yeah, and usually we could do well on MLK weekend.
Yeah, so they released it. I guess it was around MLK weekend. But I'm telling you, February 23rd. I'm telling you, February 23rd was the date.
It would have done it.
And you kept it in theaters up until Easter.
Right.
Now we'll never know.
So now Jaymes is doing a superhero movie. That's his next. So he's a versatile filmmaker. So I'm looking forward to reviewing that when that comes out.
We'll have to take a look at it. So overall, what are we rating this? 0 being completely dog shit trash, 10 being fantastic, should win several Oscars and awards. Where are we leaving this at?
Let's say you, Nick.
I'd say solid 7. Just a very good beginning to end, solid pacing, really good performances. Like I said, LaKeith, I think, did a very good job. I like the arc of the film as it was entertaining. I don't think it's masterful Oscar-winning award work, but it was good. It was a good watch. Like, I didn't feel bored. I felt different emotions. I would see it again. I'd like show this to somebody else. Like, oh, you should check out this film. It was actually pretty underrated. So 7.
You actually recommend it. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I would. I would tell somebody to watch it.
How about you,
I'll
Jim?
I probably have it at a 6.5, 7-ish. Like if it's it's a casual watch. Like I would have preferred it to be on Netflix or Amazon Prime, something like that. I think I would have preferred it in that medium. But it was decent. Like I ain't mad at it. But I'm certainly not uh, evangelizing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6.7. I give it a 6.7 because the music was great. I think to be honest with you, I think the music carried the film.
100%.
Yeah.
It was nice. The cinematography was real good. It did feel epic. It was a small movie that felt epic. I just think I wish there was a little bit more. I wish that the characters were more complex. I wish the characters were a little bit more deeper.
A little more depth.
That's the phrase.
Yeah,
Got you.
Characters had a little bit more depth. I wish there would be something more to root for. I think we needed more. I think we needed like a bubble popping moment at the end. Like I think the tension and stuff should have been. I just think that there should have been a bigger payoff that gave us more satisfaction.
Yeah.
At the end
Okay.
it was light work. Like it was like it glossed over so many heavy themes. It glossed over so many deep messages and all that stuff, but it never actually gave us a chance to really. It never really gave us a chance to really get to know the world and the characters as much, just because we were glossing through it. If I would have done the film, I would have made it I would have made Clarence have his own apostles. Like I would have had him get Tiana. I would have him get Bella Boss, get Tiana Taylor, get Anna Diop, get Jedediah, get some other people, get Benedict Cumberbatch.
He tried. He did try. He did try. He had his few. He had.
I'm gonna put that on the studio. Studio notes took out the depth and the potential of going in more. I think the studio took it out.
I mean, it could have been a biblical heist movie in a sense, where it was like they were all trying to get money. You know what I mean? Like you had the apostles who were trying to do good, and then you had these people that were trying to get money. It was
Right.
just, and again, they glossed over it. They glossed over it in the movie, but there wasn't any like real like. There wasn't like the scene where it really like drove it home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they didn't package it well. It could have had a better bow on it as you hand this over. Now I feel you, man. All right, I think this is enough for the Book of Clarence.
We've closed the Book of Clarence.
Yeah. Nick, I 100% appreciate you being here. Before we get out of here, I always like to give you an opportunity. Anything you're working on that you want the people to know, where they can find you, what you want them to know about you and your brand, feel free to gloat and emote.
Yeah, let's do it. Nick Alexander here. Thank you guys again for having me. My socials on the screen right there. Nick of Comedy. That's my Instagram, Facebook. Anything you want to find me is at Nick of Comedy. I have my hour special that's going to be out this year through Comedy Dynamics. So it's looking like we're going to get a summer release date. So just make sure you follow me so that you can get kept up to speed about when it's coming out. But it's definitely coming. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, come see me in LA. When's the episode going to be out?
On the 15th.
It's live now, be out 15th, edited and
all right, so if you're in town this weekend, come see me Saturday night at the Comedy Chateau, 8:00 in North Hollywood. I perform all around LA, so just make sure you follow me, Nick of Comedy, Nick Alexander, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Love that. Appreciate it.
What about you, Jay? Oh, you want me to go? Okay. Again, thank you so much for joining us for this another amazing episode. You can follow Kultur'd Pod on all social media platforms: YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Make sure you guys at Kultur'd Pod. Follow me at Keenan J. Floyd on Instagram, Twitter, all the stuff. If you're in DC and by the time this goes up, that's gonna be over. If you're in Hartford, Connecticut, June 8th, I will be headlining 2 shows at the Elbow Room in West Hartford, Connecticut, 7 and 9. The tickets will be up. The link will be up. If you guys are in the area, please come to the show. Share with your friends. It's going to be an amazing time. Thank you so much for joining us. And Jade?
Always remember to like, share, comment, subscribe to us on YouTube. I'm Jade Brandon. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and see me out in these streets. But as always, it's our pleasure to talk about Black cinema. Black cinema always been hot. We're just talking about it. Have a good night, man.
That's right, brother. Black actors.